Hello and welcome to Boozy Book Reports, a simple podcast where we visit childhood classics while drinking copious amounts of alcohol. We're your hosts, Beth
and Sam.
And this month, we're reporting on Let's Go All Around the Neighborhood by Patricia Patty Thomas and illustrated by Anthony Rayo, first published in 1982. I'm very excited.
This is your choice.
This is my choice. Happy Black History Month. We're celebrating me today.
Month. Yay!
And
we should celebrate you every day. That's how I feel about that.
100%. I did freak out my manager because it was like, I think it was last week. So we're halfway through the month and I look at him like, sir, where's my celebration? It's Black History Month. And his face went like, oh my gosh. What are we doing? Like, can we do something? Is there stuff going on? And blah, blah. And I'm just messing with you.
I'm not going to claim in any way, shape, or form that your manager is woke, as the children would say. But I do think he sees himself very much as an ally. And
yes, he was a little panicked.
He saw that flash before his eyes.
Oh, he was real concerned. And I was like, homie, I feel like it's funny you don't know when I'm joking still. Like, yeah, we're fine. We're good. So I sent you this TikTok and it was of this guy being like, basically like, it's Black History Month. None of my friends have celebrated me. Like, what is going on? Like, what is the point of having white friends if nobody's going to celebrate me on Black History Month? And I was like, I feel you, bro. So anyway, so this book is a children's picture book. It's super short and sweet. And it is a book that my mom bought me when I was a little kid. And I did talk to her a little bit about this. So basically there's zero representation in town. And she said she found this book and just like bought it because she's like, you could never find books about Black kids in our town, especially a Black little girl. And so she got it for me. And I read this book so much. Like my original copy doesn't even have a front or back cover. It has been read and read and read. Like I was obsessed with it. So much so that like when I got older and eBay became a thing, I found a copy on eBay and bought myself a copy. And then I kept buying all the copies that would come up because they never would come up. And so I'd buy the copy and then I would give them to my friends' kids as like their baby book from me. And I would talk about how, I didn't have representation and this was a story that really resonated and blah, blah, blah. And I saw myself in this book. And so I gave it to quite a few people. So anyway, but I love it. And obviously I'm going to give it rave reviews, but before we get all into it, we're going to get into a drink, which I'm pretty excited about because I think I'm a whiskey girl and this is a whiskey drink.
It is a whiskey drink. So we're in honor of Black History Month. We're using our favorite Uncle Nearest whiskey, the 1886 blend. So they have a Black woman who's their blend master there. And so that's very cool. But also, I like whiskey too. I'm also a whiskey girl, especially whiskey in winter. I've been a little under the weather, so I wanted something with like ginger. It sounded kind of nice when I was thinking about this. Oh, yeah? You look excited.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. So it's got lemon and ginger. You can use ginger ale. I have this ginger liqueur that I sometimes mix with seltzer. That's what I did. This thing's probably pretty boozy. This is probably going to NyQuil me pretty hard tonight. But then it's got some crème de cassis. You can use a blackberry liqueur if you want, or some sort of dark berry liqueur. So it's just ginger, fruit, and whiskey. So, yeah.
Okay. We're going to pause for 1 second because I bought ginger ale, but then forgot to put it on top. So let me go grab my little can. Hold on.
Okay. Go.
Yes, I cannot be left to my own devices when mixing drinks. So it's fine, though. I'm glad that I got a baby can. I thought I did so good this time too,
I want to see your drink.
Okay, so this is my drink.
Oh, it's good. It looks good. It looks like mine.
It looks the same. Yeah. Yours is a little more purpley, but it might just be the lighting or whatever. Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Let's go.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's good.
So I love old fashions, and whenever I'm on a plane, I get a whiskey ginger as like, or whenever that's like my like easy cheapy drink when I'm just like, or if I'm in like a bar that doesn't have cocktails or something, I'll just do like whiskey ginger. And it's my like poor man's old fashioned.
It's great.
You like that?
Yeah. I always can have things a little sweeter, but it's actually really good. And especially like it's been a rainy, gross day here today. So it's kind of perfect. And it was a long ass day at work. And so this is just hitting.
I agree with the long ass day at work, and this is honestly like whiskey ginger is like one of my favorites, and the blackberry makes it kind of, or the cassis, the currant makes it kind of like gives it a fruity edge. So
It has a nice little kick in the back with the cassis.
yeah.
Also, this is kind of boozy. So it's 2 ounces of whiskey. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was an ounce of lemon juice, and then
Mm-hmm.
a 3/4
Three
ounce
quarter.
of
The cassis.
of the cassis, and then top it off with ginger. But yeah, I'm liking it.
Yeah. It's good.
Like I kind of just want to down it and like lose myself. It's, that's where I'm at. It's been a hard
Don't
Black History Month. I'll just say like this plus Black History Month has just been like awful a little bit, and like I feel like every day something else comes out. I'm like, can we just calm down, everybody? Can we just?
there's a lot of like what fresh hell are we
Mm-hmm.
awakening to today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of like, hey, Black people, just suck it up. Just suck it up. It's fine. And it's just like, oh, okay, sure. Anyway, in happier news, there is no back of the book on this one because it is a children's picture book, but it is a first little golden book club. So it's a golden book, but it's the
Yay.
littler one. So it's super cute.
Did they have are they the ones with the little like
It
golden
has the
binding
golden
on
spine
them?
and
Yeah,
everything.
we had
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of those when I was
yeah.
growing up.
It's like the half size of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this did you have this like when you were rereading this for in preparation for today, do you basically have it memorized?
I I don't have it memorized, but the weird thing is that when I was a kid, I had one of that. I was not diagnosed. I'm self-diagnosing because like my parents, I was a 80s baby. Like my parents, we didn't go to doctors, and there was no such thing as a psychologist or like, oh, your kid's experiencing something. Oh well. But I had a thing when I was a kid where I had my senses switched. Like the I can't remember what it's called.
Was it like
Sin
synesthesia?
Yeah, something like that. So it was very weird because like every time a lot of time of the stuff I read and the stuff I saw on TV had very specific textures, and like
Hmm.
it had like this weird thing associated with it. Like it's hard to explain now because I don't have it anymore. But I just
Yeah.
remember, but as I was reading this, I could remember seeing the pictures as a kid, and it made me have tastes in my mouth, but
Hmm.
not the taste of like, because like in the book they're reading a sandwich. It's not like I
Yeah.
could taste a sandwich. I could taste a texture, but it wasn't the texture of a sandwich. It was like such a weird thing as a kid.
Huh.
um
That is cool. I mean, kind of
it
weird, but
was
cool.
it was cool. I grew out of it. I read years later, I was like trying to self-diagnose, and it was just like, yeah, a lot of kids have stuff like that and they grow out of it for the most
Huh.
part. So anyway, so there was a lot of that like muscle memory of like having that weird sensations and whatnot. But anyway, I do have some lazy facts. I did 0% research really, just a little good reads. But the lady that wrote this, her name was Patricia Thomas. She's a white lady, went by Patty, and she was
Good
she's
on
actually
you,
born.
Patty.
She's born in 1934. She passed away just recently in 2021. I was kind of bummed because like I should have reached out to her and been like, your book has so much meaning, and I saw
Yeah.
myself in it, and it really shaped my life. But
Call her a little out for
big ups, girl.
Patty.
Yeah. But she taught writing for children at a university, Marywood University, and the Institute of Children's Literature. And so she did a lot to like inspire and help, the next generation of authors, which I think is really cool. She wrote over 30 books. And I just think that was great. And I think she did such a good job of representation, because this story is about a little family in a little neighborhood. And it's definitely, they live in like a city or something because it's a walkable, and dad's riding a bus. And anyway, the whole premise is basically like little girl named Susie, who has pigtails and is very cute, is going on a day of chores with her mommy.
Yeah.
And it just talks about and details their adventure. And I have to say, I'm going to post a picture, a side by side of Susie and me. And it is diabolical how close
Uncanny.
this is. Yeah, it is
Uncanny.
crazy. Even the fact that like she loves panda bears, and like that's like my animal. As a kid you pick an animal. Panda was
Yeah.
one of my, like, it was an animal. I think I have a zoo books that I purchased at a Scholastic fair. I don't know, must have been 3rd grade, and it was pandas. And I have like a panda book I wrote as a
Oh.
kid. I have like all this stuff that was very panda. And the other thing I love about anyway, there's just a lot of things that, like, as I reread this as an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I modeled my life after Susie's
The
life. So
sneakers. Your
the
sneakers are
sneakers,
yellow, but these are red. They're very cute.
yeah. Well, yes, it's uncanny. So Susie and Mommy decide they're going to go on this adventure day of chores. And the first thing they do is like, we're going to go after brunch. So the girls have brunch at home, which I
Mm-hmm.
can relate to because brunch is my favorite thing to do.
Breakfast
They
is
head
important.
they head out for the day, and they first thing they do is they go and they write Aunt Nancy a letter and send it. And I was a kid that wrote a lot of letters. Like I wrote a lot of letters and I mailed a lot of letters as a kid. I still will physically write letters and send them to people. Like it's one of my things.
I have talked about this before on the podcast, but when I moved here for my job, you gave me a whole like envelope, a whole like packet of like letters I could open at different times. And like I have opened them, and the ones that are open are on my bulletin board behind my monitor. So
That's so
like I
awesome.
haven't opened all of them because like some of them I have not had a big win, like other than just getting through a day. So like
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been saving that one for like if I get a grant
Mhm.
or something. But
Mhm.
yeah, you are a very you're a pro. I have multiple cards and letters from you that are like
Mhm.
hung around in different places in my house. You and Boyana are the people who
Mhm.
write the most cards and letters of basically anyone I know, other than Kev's Aunt Lori. She always sends us letters and
Oh, I love
cards,
that.
and she puts glitter in them, which is
Oh,
sometimes fun,
that's fun.
and sometimes you forget
Sometimes
and you open
and
it
you're
over
like,
the
"Oh,
table and
shoot."
you're like, crap, now there's glitter everywhere. But it's always fun.
I love it, and I remember being in elementary school, and I had a couple teachers that we did pen pals with other kids, and I
Yeah.
loved that. I just always found it so amazing to just have that tangible. I think I've talked about that before, but I used to work with students, and like minimally 2 times a year, I would send all of my students a card in the mail. Like it was just something that was really important to me, and I just value that so much because I think that as much as it's nice to get a text and different things, to have the tangible is so it just is
Yeah.
so nice. And we talked about this a little bit, like, with you and Kev dating and like you guys scrolling back and looking at all your messages and stuff. But there is
Yeah, we still
something
have
about
it.
like, yeah, like
Cards.
there's something
Well,
about having a
I
card or a letter.
I still have a lot of the cards and stuff that he gave me when we first like got together, and then I have like the
Mm-hmm.
tiny Tabasco from the time we went to the melting pot in college. Like I still have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those like tiny things that I kept, like those
Mm-hmm.
letters. People like it too. My brother, I did a 5K this last weekend with my brother, and he was talking about how much he hates this. I won't name them, but this particular window company because they
Mm-hmm.
mail um, things that look like letters, and he
Mm-hmm.
opens it up thinking he got a letter, and it's just
Oh,
an ad for Windows, and so I
that's so sad.
I know. And he was
The
like, I
the
hate
bait and
them.
switch of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
refuse to
awful.
ever use them. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
that's so funny. Then I teased him that I was going to mail him a letter, but it was really just going to be an ad for Windows.
Oh, that's actually you need to make that happen. I'm just
I
I'm
know.
just
I
saying.
know. We were cackling talking about it. And now I'm like, I should really do
You
that.
should make it happen. So Susie and Mommy continue their day and they go to a shoe store, which I kind of miss old school shoe stores that like you went and there was a salesperson and you asked them for shoes and they went and got the shoes. I mean, I know you can get that sometimes at department stores, but
You
it's
can get
like,
that in Kennewick. There's a place called A1 Shoes. I would 100% shill for them. They are great. And it's the same thing. You go in there and then they have the models out, but they don't have
mhm,
the actual stuff and
yeah,
they have to go talk to somebody. They're great. And there's also like a
yeah.
really old school one in Milton Freewater.
Yeah. I mean, they still exist, but it's just
Yeah.
it's just different. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's not the norm anymore. You're going to go to
No, for
DSW,
sure.
you're going to go Famous Footwear, you're just going to look around. Nobody has a shoe horn. Nobody's, checking the width. I used to love to do that as a kid. The foot sizer. Oh, that was my jam.
Yeah.
Did I need to check my foot size? Actually, I did because I never knew which size shoe I wore, but I never did
Yeah.
it accurately, but it was so fun. But so Susie and Mommy are buying shoes, and Susie buys a pair of shoes. So she's wearing a pair of like yellow orange. They look like Converse, and she buys
They
a
look
red
like
pair
your
of the same shed.
shoes.
And I'm a Converse girly. Like all I wear is Converse. I have a bunch of different colors, and I've been rocking them since I was like in I don't know ever. Like I have pictures of me in like third grade with my Converse. They're probably generic at that point, but I'm just such a Converse girl, and I'm just like again, I'm reading this book like, huh. I guess that's stuck.
I mean, I'm looking at the outfit of her trying on the shoe and or the page with her on the shoe, and
Mhm.
you I'm pretty sure you've worn this to work. Like with the
100%.
yellow jacket, and I'm
Because
almost
I have a yellow. I've had
yeah,
more than one yellow jacket in my life,
yeah.
and I had a
You
very adorable. Yeah,
I've
it's me.
literally seen you in that outfit.
Yeah, she's just wearing jeans and a shirt and a yellow jacket and her Converse, and I'm like, "Yep, I've worn that same fit,
Yeah.
absolutely." So after they buy shoes, they head to the park to just and she's like, "Mommy, watch me run," which that's one of my favorite kid logic things is when kids are like, "Oh, these shoes are gonna make me faster or jump higher," and then they go and you're like, "Yep, they sure did, bud." Like,
Yeah. I love it when a kid like thinks that they like run extra hard, but they like it's
oh
just
yeah,
exaggerated motion. Or when kids like fist bump, when they do the
mm-hmm,
like, yeah, the like where they pull
mm-hmm.
down their fist. That's always gets me.
It's
I'm just
so
like, you
fun.
guys are so cute. Oh my
I
God.
One time I had students in my car and I was driving kids home after something and we drove by one of those police like speed things in a neighborhood and I like literally just stopped my car, pulled over, got out and they're like, "What is she doing?" And I just started like sprinting by it. And then we all did it. It was very fun. I mean I stole it totally from The Office, but it's all about like making those little moments and memories. And again, watching the kids get real competitive with it, it was super fun.
I have cycled past them and been like, how fast can I go? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
fun.
it's just fun. Like there's not enough fun in this world. Okay. So later on, Susie's climbing on the monkey bars, which cracks me up because like there was nothing like 80s and 90s playgrounds, like little death traps. Like they were
Oh, yeah.
terrifying when you think back, like at a merry-go-round. What? Like
Oh,
that's what are
my
we doing?
my sister, we called her Raspberry Butt for a really long time because she ate shit off some monkey bars on her butt
Mm-hmm.
and it got like a big old like scrape. She also potentially tore like two ligaments on a merry-go-round. She was in high school at that point.
But
But
still, that's
yeah,
crazy.
they are
No,
death
they
traps.
they're they and they were all metal and like
Yeah,
I
hot.
remember there were these hot metal slides going down those. I remember one time I was in like maybe second grade and I was running full force and I
Hmm.
hit one of those fire poles you could go down
Yeah.
and I knocked the wind out of myself, which that's the only time I've ever done that in my life. It was the most terrifying thing. I can still remember gasping for air and
Yeah.
like think I was dying. But what was your go-to on the playground? Like what was the thing that you like really were into?
We used to play a lot of Blind Man's Bluff. Now that I think about it, it's kind of messed up. But we used to play a lot
Mhm.
of Blind Man's Bluff on we called it the superstructure, but it was like the
Mhm.
big structure. And somebody would walk around with their eyes closed on the structure trying to
Jeez
like find
Louise.
each other. And you'd just be like, "Oh, you almost about ready to fall." And you
Yeah.
just kind of look out for them. But yeah, we used to do that. You know, I broke my leg on a teeter-totter, right? In kindergarten.
No.
Oh, I broke both bones. I broke my tibia and my fibula in or
Uh,
fibia, what the two in the
Whatever. Yeah.
lower. I broke
Yeah.
both of them on a teeter totter in kindergarten, trying to rescue a girl, and then the other girl
That's
jumped off, and it came
crazy.
down on my leg, and I broke my leg.
Wow.
Uh huh.
All right. I always wanted to be one of the twirly girls. You remember those bars that you could twirl over? Like you and they'd put like one leg on and you'll just
Oh yeah.
spin the spinny bars.
Yes.
I wanted that
Yeah.
so bad. I could never do it. It was
No.
scary for me.
I couldn't do that, but I was really good at like getting the merry-go-round going because I'm all leg strength, so
Mhm.
like all pushing the merry-go-round. I was really good at that. Swinging, I love swinging.
Mhm.
I still
I
love
love
swinging.
swinging. I recently was on a swing. I mean, recently it was probably a year ago, and I'm swinging. I'm like, "Oh, I love this." And all of a sudden I'm like, "Am I getting motion sickness?" And I started getting motion sickness from
No,
swinging. I was like, "That's so annoying." Like that
that's
feels like an old lady
adulthood.
thing. That's lame. I'm not a fan, but
I
whatever.
went to a conference last year with our friend Britta, our mutual friend
Mhm.
Britta, and she and I sat out on the swings for like 2 hours. One night we were
Mhm.
just like kind of peopled out, so we just sat out on the swings. It was
Oh,
great.
that sounds lovely. That's one of the goals. I bought a house last year, and one of my goals is I want a swinging bench in my front on my front
Hmm.
stoop. I think it will work, and my grandpa had
Yeah.
one growing up, and I just remember sitting on my grandma and grandpa's back porch, and we just sit and swing on this big, are they called a swinging bench? I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I don't know. My grandparents had one too. And then you can listen to that John Anderson song about just a swingin'. It's a whole country
I have
song devoted to
okay.
sitting on the swing on the little bench swing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it. Sure. So after the playground, Mommy and Susie go to a restaurant and they have lunch out, which I think is so cute. They're just doing like a burger and a pickle and a glass of milk, which I have to say that is where we depart because I'm very much so like lactose intolerant, even though I still do all the lactose things. I don't know. I just remember watching this as a kid and being like, my mom in the 80s had a retail business in our local mall, and like just like 5 stores down there was this restaurant called Hill's Restaurant. It was an old school diner, but it was in the mall, and I would go
It's
in there.
moved. It's up on it's
Yeah.
in
So they
Kennewick
had
now. Okay.
they had multiple
Okay.
locations, but at the time they had one in the mall. And they used to have sprinkle donuts, and I would go in there,
Mm,
and I mean it was like 5 years old, and I'd walk from my mom's store, and I'd walk past all the other stores, and I would go into the little diner, and I'd order a donut, and I would take it back, and my mom and I would share it, and it was just like such a special thing. And
mhm.
I just love those little moments when you're a kid and you just get to like feel like an adult, like you're doing a grown up. I felt like an adult when I got to go to restaurants and I got to do special things with my mom, or we
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't go out a lot to it, like especially a sit down restaurant, forget it. Like that
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
normal. But it was so fun to like go. And my one of the things, okay, I'm being very nostalgic right now, but so my grandma and grandpa used to watch me, and they every like Wednesday, because they were retired, every Wednesday they would go to the Sizzler buffet
Oh, hell
with like
yeah.
their friends. And so I was the only grandchild that would go. So it's me and all these people in their 60s probably. And I would go to the Sizzler, and I'd only eat like it would only eat like macaroni cheese and mashed
Oh, yeah.
potatoes and like self-serve ice cream. But I was only always the only kid there. And so I'd be running around with all these grown-ups, like getting my treats and using the self-serve ice cream thing. And it was just so fun. And yeah, it was fantastic.
We used to go to the Flying J truck stop because they
Hmm.
had a buffet like that, and it was closer than the other one. Country. We used to go to Country Buffet a lot when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
But we would go to Flying J, and it was the same thing. I mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, and I'd always
Yep.
get the fries and cover them in gravy. That was like
Oh,
my
your thing.
trash like childhood thing. But I remember one year, like that's where I asked to go for my birthday. I was like, I want to go to the
Hmm.
Flying J truck stop for my birthday. I
Hmm.
it was
There was something
it's
magical,
so
man.
weird, but it's so
Magical. Like,
good.
and I'm sure if I went now, I'd be like,
Oh, this
oh,
is ass.
this
Yeah.
is not great. This is like not what I needed. But at the time
No.
it was so freaking awesome.
I can go to the buffet here at the college for like not a lot of money. It's not actually that expensive for faculty, but every time it does kind of bring back those memories of like, should I put soft serve on this cookie? Or like one of my colleagues even said, I don't know what happens to me. Every time I come in here to eat, I turn into like an 11-year-old boy and I just eat like a bunch of burgers and crap. And I was like, yeah, it's because you're at a
It's what you're
buffet.
supposed to do. It's the best. It's the
It's
best.
this is the Pavlovian training we've all had.
Yes. So after lunch, Susie and her mommy go to the library, which I am a book girly and I'm a library girl. Like
Hmm.
I was a big library kid.
Me
There's a
too.
really great librarian on TikTok, and his name's Michael the librarian, and he's the new host of Reading Rainbow. And he's like, he always talks about being a library kid or a library adult, and he's just so enthusiastic about like library life. And like, I flourished at the library. Like, I wasn't like a super nerd or whatever. I mean, no offense to anybody else on this podcast. I didn't mean
Rude.
to. Yeah,
Rude. So rude.
but I loved the Dewey Decimal System. I loved the card catalog.
Oh,
I
those
loved
were so
finding the
cool.
stuff. Yeah, I just was like really into it for some reason.
There is a skill to that like still exists. I So that was like one of the coolest things. I used to go to the library all the time in grad school and go check
Hmm.
out books. And then when I moved to take the job as my postdoc, there's no library on campus, and I was so confused. Like, why? This is a lab. Like, why is there
Hmm.
no library? And then that was one of the first things I did when I moved here was go to the library
Hmm.
and go check out a bunch of
Yep.
books, which then I proceeded not to read. And then they sent me a
Of course
bill
not.
and they were like, obviously you've lost these things. And I was like, no, I just have them on my shelf, but
Yes.
whatever. But
No,
yeah.
the first thing I did when I moved to, because I moved to a new town, I
Hmm.
immediately, like the first weekend I had my address, I got a library card. I was so
Oh
excited
yeah.
because it was a
Yeah.
bigger library system too than the one I'd been using. So when I was a kid, I was a very curious kid.
Yeah.
And I was very thankful that I had access regularly to a library. And I remember being so interested about like human sexuality. I must have been like 9 years old. And I went to the library. I feel like I must have talked to the librarian or something. I was bold. And I remember checking out this book, and it was all about like for kids, it's all about human sexuality and stuff, but it talked, and this is the 80s, and it did talk about like same-sex relationships
Oh
and other
wow,
like what
that's
it was
progressive.
crazy. Yeah, and I just remember reading it and I'm like, I'm so thankful I read it because I think it set me up to just be much more accepting and like not thinking of it as so different. I mean, even though I wasn't like I was a kid, I wasn't fully understanding all the social,
Yeah,
you know, all the stuff around, what does it mean to, be gay or lesbian or trans. I didn't understand it fully, but it just gave me like such a great context. And it didn't just talk about that. It talked about like
yeah,
having babies and all kinds of stuff. And it was just like so, I just remember it so distinctly and being like, huh, all right, this is very interesting. And again, I credit this book. I credit Patty Thomas for making me a library kid and being like so open to go talk to the librarian because they're literally talking to the librarian in this book.
yeah.
And it's like, yes.
Librarians are wild. Like talk about like a jack of all trades right there
Mm-hmm.
is like especially old school librarian.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny though about your that is I think that's the joy of like the library is that you can
Mm-hmm.
like you don't need your parents' permission
Mm-hmm.
and you can sort of explore
Yes.
what you need to. And so I don't know.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
love it.
loved the
I
library
mean,
as a
I love it
kid.
to this day because as soon as I'm
Yeah.
curious about something, I mean, it's sad to me now because like I really feel like nonfiction has changed so much at the library. Like it's just not the same it's not the same amount of books. And I get it. It's just different now. But sometimes I'll just peruse the nonfiction section, just looking for like,
Mhm.
what could I learn today? And I'll just like look at stuff. I don't know. I just love
Yeah.
it. I love looking at stuff and being like, what's this about?
I love when they have their like staff picks out and I'm like I can find
Mm-hmm.
out. They actually do that at the college library. They
Mm-hmm.
do that where they put them out and they have like a little shelf that's just the new books and the staff picks. And I like because the coffee shop's in there. I love going over while I'm waiting for my coffee and going and seeing what they've listed and what they have
Yes.
new. It's like
Yes.
I don't know. It's
It's
kind of
just
fun.
fun.
And
It's just
like
fun.
I think there's something to be said about the like when I'm trying to learn a new topic that I can just go to the library, I can find the section of the library where that topic is hosted, and I can just like thumb through some books and try to figure
Mhm.
out like, okay, how do I, what are the words that people use to describe this? What should I be looking
Mhm.
up? You know,
Mhm.
I do think as we're sitting at this precipice, as a country, we had the librarians came by and were like, well, we have to make staff or we have to make funding cuts. What are the things you
Mhm.
can't live without or that that
Mhm.
you can give up? And it's so sad and frustrating because I do think that there's this push to like get rid of the physical books. And I personally, I mean, I think as somebody who is a tad neurospicy, I really struggle reading on the computer. I
Yeah.
really like a physical copy of a book, and I don't want to always buy them. I want to share them with others. Libraries are great. Support
Libraries are
your
great.
local library.
Yes.
Also,
Support
many
your
of
local
them now have
library.
like maker spaces. Ours has a tool
Uh
thing it has embroidery machines. You
oh,
can do so many cool
there's
things. There's an
places that you
auto
can
tool
check
one.
out there's ones you can check out like baking pans. You can
Oh
check out
yeah.
ours has like a lot of board games you can check out.
Hmm.
Like you can check out like actual power tools. Like it's really cool what
Yeah,
they're
tool
doing. Like
libraries.
it's and I feel like librarians are on the forefront of like protecting human rights a lot of the
Human rights,
time
human
and
knowledge.
yes,
Those two
it's
things go together.
fantastic. Yep.
Also, the
So,
library is the last place you can go and enjoy something and not have to pay.
yes, it's like
It's not like a
where
coffee shop
else?
where you have to buy a coffee to sit
Nope.
there and their bathrooms are for customers only.
Yeah. No, it's like they do so much. Like our local library has so many amazing like lecturers that come through,
I lectured at the
authors like
library.
that's awesome.
I
Yeah,
gave
that's
a
super
science
cool.
talk at the library when I was
That's amazing.
when I converted to staff. So
That's really cool. Okay. So after the library, they're walking down the street and they walk past the laundromat and there's a gumball machine outside. And so Susie gets a little treat
oh
for 10 cents, which cracks me up because I'm like, that has to be 50 cents minimum now.
yeah.
Also,
Did you do this though
I
when you were a kid?
I remember getting like the sticker and the ring
Yes,
and the egg type of
the
stuff.
stickers. So we had all the
Yeah.
ones that said like angel, and it was like the weird it was the
Mm-hmm.
weird like 90s art that was like kind of gangster.
Yep.
that maybe like a lady that was as white as us shouldn't have had. But
Mhm.
we had them. There was a door into our bedroom, and we took all of our little stickers from Bennett Supers and taped them around. We weren't allowed to stick to the door. We taped them, and they all said like
Mhm.
"sexy angel," and they had some like
Mhm.
drawing of a lady with like low rise jeans, and like as if me and my stupid sister were like,
That was your
we
life?
no,
That
we
was your
were
culture?
yeah, just two sexy angels.
But it was just so fun. I think there's been
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's not a resurgence, but I think there's an awareness now in the last few years of all of the cool vending machines in Japan. And I think
Oh
some of that has
yeah.
made its way here. And I think it's so
Yeah.
fun. I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's like the mystery of it all. Like, what are you going to get? And that kind
It's
of
like
stuff.
the
It's
closest
just
thing
fun.
to gambling that you could do at that
Oh
age
gosh.
is like,
Seriously.
I'm going to put
Well,
a
and I'm
quarter
sorry.
in.
It's a real gamble to take candy out of a machine that you don't even know when that candy has been cycled. Like you don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
anything about what is happening in that candy box.
The gum is always stale. It's
Always
the
stale and hard.
stalest
You're gonna break a tooth.
giant. Yeah,
And the flavor
is this
leaves
a
in 2 seconds. It is like
two
fruit by the foot
chomps?
gum.
Yeah,
3 bites and you're like, oh, no flavor. Okay,
yeah.
just
Just
gum flavor.
shards of candy, just sharp candy shards
Ugh,
in
it's the
this
worst.
goo.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I love it. I would do it.
I mean, I wouldn't do it now, but as a kid, I loved it. I would not eat
I
candy
would.
out of a gumball machine or a candy machine at this point. I just wouldn't.
Oh, 100% I would.
I know.
I know. I'm
I
trash.
know. You're not trash.
The
You're
Mike and
not
Ike's, the
trash.
little machine, the Mike and Ike's machine at the laundromat. Oh, I'd do it.
Oh,
Not above it.
nope, nope. I'm actually above it. Yep, I'm above it. So after getting a gumball, they hit the hardware store, which Susie picks up some egg beaters, and they're like the old school egg beaters that are like have the
Mm-hmm.
little crank on them. And it made me think of my grandma always because whenever I was at her house and we would make like a cake or something, she made a lot of bundt cakes. She had a really good chocolate bundt cake, and then she'd make this
Mm.
chocolate kind of ganache to like pour
Mm-hmm.
over the top. But we'd use that old school egg beater, and it was like your arm
Mm-hmm.
would just be on fire, like, spinning the thing. And it was just
But
so fun
less than you have to do it than doing it
with a
yourself with
whisk.
just a whisk. Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
do that once for a cake that I made when I was living in the Netherlands or in Sweden because
Uh-huh.
I didn't have my hand mixer, so I just had to do it with by hand. It
Uh-huh.
took
Oh.
so long to beat
Yep.
the egg like the egg whites into peaks. Oh my
Yep.
god.
I have a memory that I was a little bit afraid of the egg beater because the gears are all exposed.
Yeah.
And it just was kind of like a little bit scary to me. But again, loved it. Afterwards, they walk over and they pick up her older brother, David, at school, which, again, city kids love it. And then they head over to a local market. And I just love it, like, because they know the person. It's like a little veggie stand, and mom's getting broccoli and carrots for dinner. And then, like, the lady just gives them each an apple. And it's just, like, so sweet. I miss, like, I like that community thing. When I was growing up, my dad was a stay-at-home dad, and we used to always go to this local market called Butcheries,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, I guess I guess this is traumatizing, I don't know, but we went there all the time, and I guess one time my mom took me I vaguely remember it, my mom took me, and we were getting ready to check out, and I was asking for something, and she said no, and I started throwing a giant tantrum, and the checkout girl goes, "Her dad always buys her something," and I'm just, like, freaking out, screaming, and of course, my mom I think it's, like, one of the only times my mom threatened to slap me or hit me, like, whatever, spanked me, and I was just like, that's not my fault. I was conditioned to believe that I always get a prize at the store. So this is
Yeah.
on you. This is a parenting fail on the two of you, not
Yeah.
me.
You're
But it
not
was like
communicating. Dad is not
yeah,
communicating to mom that butcheries means treat for me.
treat for me. Like we get a little something. And so anyway, but it was so cute. I just remember like it was nice when people would know you I mean,
Yeah.
I shop frequently enough at my local grocery store that like the checkers sometimes like recognize and say hi, but nobody like knows your name and like, for me at least, I haven't had that in years where somebody like knows my name at a store and like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I when I was in college, there was this old Eastern European lady that used to. She was the waitress at the Denny's, and she knew us. She knew my order every time. And then we
Oh,
were
that's
like,
awesome.
"Oh no, we go to this Denny's way too much at like 2 a.m."
But
So,
it's so fun though. I
Yeah,
guess
it's a good memory.
I had a grocery guy when I lived in South Korea, and I didn't go home to him a ton, but he was like right on my way home. And so
Hmm.
I stopped there quite frequently to get like an ice cream or something. And he used to always get so frustrated at me because I could never learn how to give change.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so I never really learned
It's
how to
hard.
do the money, and so
Hmm.
I'd always just give him money, and he'd just shake his head at me, and he'd always like, whatever.
Yeah.
I used to have to buy my like garbage bags from him because you have to buy garbage bags there, specific garbage bags for different
Hmm.
things, and he would just shake his head at me. But he was just so nice. But he spoke no English, and I spoke very little Korean. But it was just that fun kind of like banter of two
Yeah.
people just trying to like get through a transaction. It was great.
I can relate to the when they say like a price to you in like another language and you're just like panic, panic, panic. Like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna throw the equivalent of a 20 at you and
Yeah,
hope
and
this
hope for
is
the
right.
best.
And
Yep.
if it's not, you'll tell me, and
Yep.
I'll just be like
Yep.
American
Y-
idiot, like
Yeah. I was like, sorry.
idiota.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I don't know.
it's a beautiful thing. To
Just we
I
moron.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, just yeah, good times. Okay, so it's the end of the day. They've picked up the kid, they picked up the brother, and now they head over. They meet their dad at a bus stop, and then they all like they're like it's so cute because they give hugs and everything. And then
Yeah, one
Susie's kind of
kiss for
like,
each kid.
yes. And then Susie's like, where are we going now? And Mommy's just like, the best place in the whole neighborhood, home. And I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah. Yes, I'm a homebody. So I'm like, yes. My favorite thing is like when I pull into my driveway now, and I mean, I've never been able to park in a garage. Like I've been an apartment dweller for years and years, and having this house now is freaking amazing. And I'll be pulling up to my driveway and I hit my button and I pull into the garage and I hit my button again and it closes. And I'm always just like, like I'm home.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm taking these pants off
my
and I'm in
kitties
it.
are here.
I immediately like look for Bubba and for Telly and I'm like asking them how their day was, like a crazy
Yeah.
person. And I love
No,
it so much. I love it.
totally normal. And
Yes.
also, I don't know, the cats run at the door when they hear the garage door open. So
Hmm.
they're
Yep.
always are
They're
trotting
right
down.
there.
And I'm like,
Yep.
hey babies, how are you?
Yes. It's
And
so
then
fun.
petting my little Merly boy behind me.
I really realized, like, re-looking at this book, like, this is my average Saturday. Like, this is my
Oh
weekend.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these are the chores I run. Like, this is and I like doing chores. Like, I like doing my little errands and like I like, oh, I got to go to the library and see if, there's any new books or any DVDs I want to get. I've been really big into like I allegedly, I'll say, maybe hypothetically, getting DVDs from the library and ripping them for my own stash. I mean, I don't encourage that, and I can't say I've really done it, but it's a great way to build my online collection of movies.
No
Don't come for
judgment
me. It's
here.
personal use, and I never distribute. Allegedly. So anyway, but it's just like I love like going to get
Yeah.
brunch with the girls, and then I love going to get like the little market and going to the library and going and just doing those little like errands. It just makes me so happy.
So my husband and I were talking about this last weekend because we went and did our Saturday. We did a bunch of errands. We went to a museum we'd been wanting to go to, and then we went to. I had to go stop and pick up a bottle for this cocktail, and then we went down to the mall. And Kevin and I are definitely millennial children who love a mall date. Even to
Uh-huh.
this day, we are. I would not call us capitalists in any way,
Yeah.
shape, or form,
Yeah.
but boy, do we love them all. Like,
Yeah.
we love to
It's
just
so
go
fun to
walk
just
around.
putter and
Yeah.
browse. Yeah, just look at stuff, smell stuff.
And especially like malls that are like, what? I don't know how to say this. Malls that are a little bit on the fritz so they get
Mhm.
interesting stores rather than just
Mhm.
like the same Simon
Yeah, yeah,
brand
yeah.
that they all have are so interesting. Or like there was like a revival. There was a mall when we were in LA that was like not a very when we first went there, it was like kind of it was like on the outs. It wasn't very nice. And then there was, I think, like a resurgence of sort of like Japanese and Chinese stores in the mall and like
Mhm.
food plate and like food court stuff that was like Asian food court type things. That was the coolest mall to go to because like there was like a Miniso, there was all these like little shops and stuff that we like otherwise
Mhm.
wouldn't have seen. There was one that had really high end like Chinese gifts that we were always like just baffled by these like there was like a bottle of liquor for like it was honestly like $1,000 that was
Oh
just
my
shaped like a
gosh.
jaguar, that was like some high-end whiskey or something for somebody's boss or something. But we used to love that stuff. Like, I love going
Mhm.
to the mall. So we went this weekend because there was like a gym and mineral store in one of the malls, and then there was like one that had a little makerspace area that had
Mhm.
like little shops, or the little like cubicles where like people who have like sort of home businesses or cottage businesses
Mhm.
can sell their stuff. I
That's so fun.
still love walking the mall with Kev. Like, we're
Mhm.
such. This is when I
Well, it's
know
so
we're
fun too.
like,
People watching, stuff
yeah,
watching. It's just fun. It's just fun.
what
And
what
I love them all because you
snacks?
could walk around and not like buy stuff, really. Like you don't have,
Yes,
it's not like, you could just kind of peruse.
that's what my mom one time was like. Well, why don't? How can you go to the mall and not buy anything? And I was like, well, it's pretty easy because I was in grad school at the time. I was like, I'm broke, so
Yeah.
I have no money. It's very easy not to
Mhm.
buy things. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that like the mall that they put in when I was a senior in high school out by where my parents live is an outdoor mall, and so it's like
Mhm.
there is a barrier when you have to open the door and come in from outside that you
Yeah.
were going to engage.
Yeah.
Whereas at the mall, like the real indoor mall, you can just kind of walk around and go see,
Mhm.
and you can just kind of duck into some stores and see what's
Mhm.
there. I
I
we
love it.
we love them all. We
Yeah.
are trash people and we love them all.
You're not trash people, and there is definitely like, yeah, you're not trash people. You're not trash people. Okay. In regards to love, I love
Mm,
this book. Like this is my book. I've read this book probably who knows how many times. Like a gajillion. It's like imprinted in my soul. So like I have nothing bad to say about it. The one disclaimer I have is that if you have a child that is a different ethnicity of you or a different skin color, find them their book. Find them a
yeah,
book that looks like them, that's representative of them. I mean, it doesn't just have to be ethnicity or skin color. It could be other things too, but find your kid your
interests.
book young, and it's
Yeah,
just and read it to them and give it to them, and like because it's representation and seeing yourself somewhere is so important. And like honestly, like this book is probably one of the only places I saw myself growing up in a real way,
yeah.
like, and it's just like it's so impactful and so meaningful. I give it 10 out of 10 panda bears. Like it is fantastic.
It's
No
very
notes.
cozy. I
It's
like the
very
coziness
cozy.
of it. I liked that. 10 out of 10 Converse sneakers. I
Mhm.
thought it was really
It's
good.
so cute. And the illustration is great too. Like it's
It's
just
cute.
well done.
Yeah.
Like I really want to find I'm half tempted to see if I can find this illustrator and see if I can find like an original, but I want to blow one of these up and like put it on my wall, like make it
Yeah.
into a cool piece of art because it's just like it's so representative of like it just means so much to me. So I don't know. I love it. I love it. It's so good. And the great thing now, they have so many copies on eBay and they have it on like the online archive library.
The
So you can
Internet
see it.
Archive, that's where I
Yeah.
looked. I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah. And
was
so you can
very
see it
cute.
all right there. And I'm like, oh, I love that. Like it's like saved for all time now, basically. Anyway, very
Yeah.
excited.
It was a very, very good book. And I think that I agree that it is important to see yourself in things and to see people who look or feel like you in however that
Mhm.
is. But I do think that this is a book that any kid could enjoy. I think I would
Yeah.
have enjoyed it as a kid and not really
Yeah.
thought too much about it. But I think it is. That's not to say that that's not important. It is.
Yeah. Well, and I love too because it kind of holds up. Like for most of
Yeah.
the stuff, it's still most of the stuff is around or is relatable. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited for our March book. This is another one of my picks.
Oh
And
my God. Oh my
I
God.
bought this book at the Scholastic Book Fair. I must have been in
Uh,
fourth grade, maybe fifth grade. And I was boy crazy. And I spent
Same
my hard
girl.
hard earned babysitting money on a book called How to Be Friends with a Boy, How to Be Friends with a Girl by Judy Miller. And basically, this author interviews all these kids, and it's a book about how to just be friends. This is not about romantic love, but it kind of dips into those territories. And it's all these like little quotes from kids she interviewed and questions answered that kids have asked about like liking boys and girls and how do you be friends with them in a real way. And I'm very excited to revisit. I remember vaguely reading it. I remember this book on my bookshelf as a kid. I don't know how deep I got into the lore of it and the reading of it, but I'm very excited to reread it as an adult because I can only imagine what kids in the 90s were saying about, being friends with boys and girls. Like, I'm so excited.
I'm curious to see what they say. So
Yes.
I'm excited. This is the cute one.
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm hoping it gives me some insight maybe to my own dating life now, some, how to be friends with men in 2026. Maybe it'll give me some guidance and not just being like, ew, no.
I mean,
Maybe
there's some
we
nice
could
boys
hope.
out there. There's some nice
There
men that
are.
are fun
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
There's some definitely nice fun friend men's out there.
If you're enjoying Boozy Book Reports and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Boozy Book Reports, or leave us a positive review and rating. All of those things help us grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you and happy reading.